My name is Tahsin Timur Söylemez. I am the current Turkish ambassador to Mexico. I've been in this position for almost 4 years now and very happy to be here. I have been in the Turkish Foreign Ministry for almost 28 years now. Before that, I did some journalism as well. So I'm very close to the media, very happy to be with the media. I studied business administration at university. So my background is a little bit different from a lot of other diplomats, which I think brings some variety to the job. Hope to be in Mexico for some time longer. I think Mexico is an absolutely gorgeous country. I think Mexico has great potential in so many different areas. It's a very rich country. The history is amazing, the food is amazing, but of course, most importantly, the people are amazing. Mexico is a very friendly country to Turkey. The image of Turkey is very positive here, and it's exactly the same back in Turkey. The image of Mexico, of Mexicans, is very positive. When Mexicans go to Turkey, they find themselves at home. So I think we have very good relations between the two countries. I personally believe that Mexico is one of the most beautiful places I've served in all of the 28 years that I've been in the Foreign Ministry. The most exciting part of watching Mexico is the cultural, ethnic diversity of the country. Like Turkey, Mexico is able to enjoy multiple identities at the same time. It is North American, it is South American, it is Latin American, and at the same time it has a very strong indigenous culture, which brings great color, flavor, and dynamism to the country. So every day I'm able to learn new things about Mexico. And in the 4 years that I've been here, I honestly believe that I've only scratched the surface. I think there's so much more to learn and to enjoy. But of course, the pandemic has not been very helpful. But nevertheless, I do believe that this is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. Unfortunately, until the pandemic began, I was traveling a lot. I visited about 15 states so far. And I was going to visit the additional remaining 15 in the last 2 years of my term, but unfortunately I have not been able to travel north as much as I like. I've been to Tijuana and Baja California, but that's it so far. My role, of course, is to bring the two countries closer together in every field. So what I aim to do every day is not only to have excellent political relations between the two countries, but also to increase the economic relations, to bring more depth to the economic relations. In that respect, increasing the trade, the bilateral trade between Turkey and Mexico obviously is a big priority. Bringing more investments from Turkey to Mexico and more investments from Mexico to Turkey is another priority. Increasing tourism is a very big priority because there is so much potential. Turkey and Mexico are both heavy hitters globally in terms of tourism, but they're two countries that really have not discovered each other in terms of tourism. Now we have Turkish Airlines flying directly between Turkey and Mexico, and all of the flights are overbooked. In fact, we're going to be increasing frequency, hoping to have flights every day very soon between the two countries. So that will really help increase tourism in both directions. And of course, that will lead to more personal contact. That will lead to more cultural exchanges, which will then bring about more cross-fertilization between these two countries, which are far apart from each other, but actually know each other, have sympathy for each other. So my goal is to deepen the relations in every way that we can, and of course at the same time learn from Mexico, learn from the experiences of Mexico, and bring that experience back to my country. Well, of course there are many ways to promote Turkey here. I am the biggest promoter of Turkey. One of the things that of course we did after my arrival is begin Turkish Airlines flights. That created a lot of information, a lot of promotion in Mexico about Turkey. The second thing that I'm happy to say that I have not done myself, but is really helping with cultural promotion here, is the Turkish TV series.
Dün bir kızla tanıştım. Adı Mahur. Fabrikada fotoğraf çekerken başını belaya koydu.
As you know, Turkish TV series are globally now very competitive, second only to United States. So we have a lot of Turkish TV series on television here on Netflix that are hugely popular among the Mexican people, which is really helping to promote Turkish culture and the Turkish people. Other than that, of course, contacts with the media, contacts with different operators in tourism, talking to official government representatives about what we can do together to promote Turkish culture here. There's a lot more to do, I have to say. I think I've been very active in trying to promote Turkey, but honestly, when I look at the potential, I really do see that there's much more to do. I think Turkish TV series are popular here for a variety of reasons. One of them, of course, is the quality of the product in terms of production, in terms of the storylines that are out there, in terms of the beautiful people, of course, that are acting in these TV series. But I think there's a deeper reason, and that deeper reason is I think people are tired of moral gray areas. Turkish TV series have gone back to basics. They are storylines where there is good people, there are bad people, there are romances, and these stories develop over time, but there are no crossing over. So the good guy does not ever become the bad guy. If the good guy makes a mistake, he owns up to the mistake, apologizes, or she apologizes, and then moves on. And the bad guy is always the bad guy. So when people are watching these TV series, they can aspire to what they're watching to. They are not looking to find the difficulties that they have every day in their real life. They're looking to find moral clarity, which I think is what these TV series are also providing. So I think, in a nutshell, back to basics is the key to the success of the Turkish series. The Turkish population in Mexico is very small, about 1,500 people at most, mostly in Mexico City, but also in Quintana Roo, dealing with tourism. But the numbers, of course, are very small in terms of the community. We are trying to, as the embassy, create some opportunities for Turkish businesses to participate in festivals here, but the participation is always smaller than we would like. So what we try to do, of course, is we try to bring also from Turkey artists, singers, musicians, etc., so that we can directly promote Turkish culture. The first thing that I would need to tell Mexican people is they will feel at home. The language will be different, the religion will be different, but the way in which life is conducted on a daily basis, they will immediately recognize as being the same. Turkish people are very similar to Mexican people. Family life is very important. Eating together is very important. Music is very important. History and religion, of course, are very important. So there are a lot of social commonalities between Turkish people and Mexican people. And I hear this all the time from Mexican people who come back from Turkey. They say, we don't understand the language, but we feel immediately at home. So the cultural and social similarities are striking. Of course, the religion and the language are different, but these are not insurmountable because, like Mexicans also, Turkish people are very hospitable. They are known for their hospitality. So when you are visiting Turkey, everybody will be opening their doors to you, everybody will be opening their stores or restaurants to you, and they will welcome you with an open heart. And even if you don't speak the language, you will find a way to communicate. So in that respect, it's a very easy place to visit because you will immediately feel very welcome. Of course, like Mexico, the historical depth is there. This is a geography which is known to be the cradle of civilizations, and all of those civilizations that coexisted still coexist in Turkey. So while a majority of the people are Muslim in Turkey, there is, of course, religious minorities that still exist and thrive in Turkey, and all of the history of Christianity, of Judaism, etc., they're all there to be enjoyed in Turkey as well, including, of course, pre-Christianity that we're talking about, Roman civilization, and also pre-Roman civilizations. All of the ruins are there, the archaeological sites are there to be seen and enjoyed. Well, of course, Istanbul is the jewel in the crown. So Mexicans mostly start off in Istanbul. And then from Istanbul, traditionally, they go through Ankara, the capital, to Cappadocia. Cappadocia is an incredibly beautiful place with natural formations. It was one of the places where some scenes in Star Wars was shot. And of course, from a religious perspective also, it's very important because there was a lot of Christians that passed through there and created dwellings for themselves. And then from there, traditionally, they will either go south to the beach, to Antalya, or they will go back west to Pamukkale, which is similar to the place near Oaxaca. It's a similar, yes, similar formation, all white with pools everywhere. So they will go through there, and then of course they will end up in Izmir because of Ephesus and the Chapel of the Virgin Mary. And then through there they will go back to Istanbul. So those are the main places that Mexicans visit in Turkey. But of course there's a lot of other places that they need to visit because there's a lot of other, like Mexico, a lot of other beautiful places. So we find that when Mexicans do go to Turkey, they come back. They're not one-time visitors, but they will see the most important places on their first visit, and then when they come back again, they will branch out to more original places.
A Friday prayer not seen or heard in over 8 decades.
Of course, Turkey is predominantly a Muslim majority country, but of course we have a Jewish community, we have an Armenian community, we have other Christian denominations living in Turkey in different cities, of course not only in Istanbul but Izmir and other places. And this is a geography which has a history of coexistence. So coexistence is not new for us. In fact, the Ottoman Empire, which preceded the Republic of Turkey, had a system of coexistence that allowed all different religions to continue to thrive, even though the Ottoman Empire itself was a bastion of Islam. So peaceful coexistence among religions has been a practice that existed in these lands for thousands of years and continues to do so without any problems. Well, of course, when you go to Istanbul, the most important site is Hagia Sophia. Because of its history, because of all the phases that it has gone through, is important for almost every religion. And so that is the first most fascinating place to visit. And then, of course, just across the road is the Sultan Ahmet Mosque, which is the only mosque in the world with 6 minarets. It's gorgeous. But then the journey starts from there because there is so much more to see in Istanbul. You have small mosques, small churches, large churches, Orthodox churches, Catholic churches, of different denominations, all of them beautiful. Because, of course, Istanbul, you know, Napoleon said that if the world was to be recreated, Istanbul would be its capital. Istanbul is and has been a bastion, a melting pot of cultures throughout millennia. So going back to Constantinople and now Istanbul, the story is very long, and every culture that has passed through there, every religion that has passed through there has left a mark. And all of those marks, all of those important historical landmarks have been preserved and continue to be preserved for everyone to see. But of course, that's just Istanbul. There's a lot to see in Istanbul, but it doesn't end there. Then you have to travel through Anatolia and see not only the Roman and pre-Roman archaeology and sites and the religious marks that pilgrims, as they moved through Anatolia, left, but you have to, of course, also visit the Chapel of the Virgin Mary, which was her final resting place. She was brought there by John, if I'm not mistaken, disciple John, after the crucifixion, to spend her final days. And the town of Selçuk, which is very near there, was one of the places where in the future the council of disciples and their and the people who came after them came to convene and start to write, of course, the text of the Bible based on all of the documents that they had. So there is a lot of religious significance that exists, not only for Muslims, but also for Christians in Turkey.
Tell us about the gastronomy.
Well, the gastronomy is amazing. What can I say? I miss it personally here. The gastronomy is influenced in Turkey by many different dynamics from the region. So from the Balkans, from the north, from North Africa, from the Arabian Peninsula, from the east, and of course from indigenous dynamics. There is so many different things to enjoy, from of course the kebab culture, which is very rich, to seafood. We are surrounded by 3 seas, so there's a lot of wealth in terms of seafood, but also what we call palace cuisine, which is the slow cooked kind of food, the comfort food that has been developed over years, which is really sort of the high cuisine that you can find in very good restaurants. And then of course in Turkey now you're finding a lot of regional cuisine. The more affluent the society becomes, the more they become aware of different types of cuisine that had been cultivated in different parts of Turkey, but that had not traveled around the country. Like, for example, here also, mole becoming more and more famous, whereas, before it was not so widely known. So almost every day we are discovering new dishes and new mixes of cuisines. And also, of course, a wine culture is developing in Turkey. There's now very competitive wines being made in Turkey with a lot of awards here and there, and a lot of other different beverages that are indigenous to Turkey and need to be discovered by Mexicans. I have to say I love Mexican food, and I mentioned mole in particular. Red mole is my absolute favorite. But of course, I can never say no to tacos either, of any flavor. I am open to all of them. I have tried to taste different cuisines from different parts of the country, Oaxaqueño, Yucateca, and I honestly must say that I did not eat anything I didn't like. So it's just, every time I taste something, I like it more. I hear that burritos are very popular in the north, but I still haven't tried them. Well, mostly it's services and industry. I mean, of course, we have agriculture as well. Similar profile to Mexico, a very strong industry, primarily automotive, manufacturing, textiles. Of course, the services sector, primarily tourism, but banking, and now, of course, a lot of IT businesses are growing in Turkey. So there is that sort of upstream diversification that's happening in the economy. But at the same time, we enjoy a strong agricultural sector as well. So it's varied to the extent that it has to be. Turkey, unlike Mexico, is not a country that has a lot of natural resources. There's not a lot underground. So we have to depend almost completely on our human resources, which is what we do. And that's why Turkey also is a trading nation. I mean, global trade is incredibly important for Turkey. Value-added economy is what is our economy based on. We are very competitive in the medicine sector. Our health system is very strong, very well developed, and this is why we attract, in fact, a lot of people from outside of Turkey who want to seek different cures in Turkey, in different areas, but also in terms of course, exporting medical products, medical goods. We are very competitive. In terms of innovation, there's a lot of R&D going on in Turkey in different areas, including military industry, by the way, which is a very important sector as well, where we are trying to create relations with Mexico. We realize technology, if you're not competitive in technology, then you won't be competitive in tomorrow's economy. So in terms of also software, we are becoming more and more competitive. These are areas where the government is investing more and more resources in educating youth to prepare them for the future.
Is it safe to visit Turkey?
It's absolutely safe. There is no problem in Turkey at the moment. If you look at the last 3 or 4 years, we have not had any disturbances, any problems. Before that, because of the war in Syria in the south and the difficulties in Iraq, we have had some problems, but all of those problems have been overcome. What we have done essentially, let me explain, is we have created a buffer across the border in the south. And by virtue of that buffer, we are preventing any of these, let's say, problematic people from crossing the border. So you have not, in the news, I mean, this is all open information, you have not seen any information, and you will not see any information of any difficulties in Turkey, whether in terms of terrorist attacks or any other disturbances, any other sort of public disturbances. Turkey is completely safe to visit, and this is why in 2019, before the pandemic struck, 50 million people visited Turkey. I mean, this is a record number, 6th largest, I think, in the world. So, I mean, you don't have to take my word for it. You can ask the people who actually go. They don't have any problems whatsoever. We are taking, I mean, the government is taking every precaution anyway. The last, I think, was 2015. We had a series of a few terrorist attacks, one after another. After that, we have not had any disturbances because, like I said, we've been taking very active measures to make sure that they do not come into the country anymore. This was primarily driven not because of any development in Turkey, but developments in Syria and Iraq, primarily. And of course in other places further away from our border, but they were coming through the south. So we have taken measures on our border and cross-border, through cross-border operations, to make sure that this doesn't happen again. And the statistics are there for everybody to see. Turkey is a safe country. Well, of course, we have multi-layers. I mean, our security sector has multi-layers. But for tourists, it's most important to know, of course, because they will be visiting city and urban centers mostly. So we have police presence, of course. We have a gendarmerie presence in rural areas. And we have also tourism police in areas that are more frequented by tourists. So we have multi-layers of protection for tourism, for tourists, but they will not feel that presence. They will not see it. It's not very much visible, but it's very strong and there, and all these sites are very well protected. So there is really nothing to be concerned about. In terms of COVID, what you have to do before going to Turkey is you need to be able to prove that you are vaccinated. If you prove you're vaccinated, then you don't need a test. If you do not have proof of vaccination, then 72 hours in advance you need to get a PCR, or 48 hours in advance antigen test. One or the other is fine. Or if you've had COVID in the past, then you need to prove that you had it and that you recovered from it. So any one of those documentation will be enough to board the plane to go to Turkey and then enter Turkey without any problems. And of course, if you do have any problems in Turkey, then you will be treated locally as well. We have the infrastructure for that.
Again, thank you very much.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for coming.